almost 1,000 drones in one day. Let that sink in for a second. Not a week, not a month. One single day. Russia just launched the biggest aerial assault in the entire history of this war. And here's the part that will genuinely surprise you. Ukraine shot down 95% of them while being actively at war on a Tuesday. This is not normal. This is not even close to normal. And today, we are going to break down exactly what happened, why Russia did it, how Ukraine pulled off something that defense experts are still trying to wrap their heads around, and what all of this means for where this war is actually heading. Stay with me, because this story has layers. So let's set the scene first. It is March 24th, 2026. Ukraine wakes up to what initially looks like a standard Russian overnight bombardment. Drones, missiles, the usual horror that Ukrainians have unfortunately gotten used to over 4 years of war. 5 people are killed overnight across 11 regions. Terrible, but by this war's grim standards, not unusual. But then something different happens. The sun comes up, and Russia keeps going. This is the part that caught everyone off guard. Russia almost always attacks at night. It is their playbook. Hit infrastructure, hit homes, hit power grids in the dark, when air defenses are stretched and visibility is low. That is the pattern. That has been the pattern for years. Tuesday was different. In broad daylight, a second massive wave of 556 drones rolled in. Russia had fired 392 overnight, and then just kept going. By the time it was all tallied up, 948 drones and 34 missiles had been launched in a single 24-hour window. The previous record? 728 drones back in July 2025. Russia did not just break that record. Russia shattered it. Now here's a question worth sitting with for a second. Why drones? Why this many? Why now? Because this was not random. Nothing in this war ever is. Russia has been quietly building toward this moment. A year ago, Russia was producing around 90 Shahed-style drones per day. By January of this year, that number had climbed past 400 per day. Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief General Syrsky had already warned that Russia was gunning for a production rate of 1,000 drones a day. They are almost there. These Shaheds, originally an Iranian design that Russia now manufactures locally, are not precision missiles. They are essentially flying bombs that cost a fraction of what a missile costs. Russia's strategy is volume. Overwhelm the air defenses with sheer numbers. Force Ukraine to burn through expensive interceptors, shooting down cheap drones. And mix in the real missiles with the drone swarms, so Ukraine cannot tell which is which until it is too late. Russia even uses decoy drones called Gerberas, specifically designed to waste Ukrainian interception efforts. There is the Italmas, a drone literally built from plywood, used as a cheap delivery vehicle for explosives. Plywood, flying over major cities. That is where we are. The timing matters too. Every spring, Russia escalates. Snow melts, ground conditions improve, and Moscow turns up the pressure. But this year, the escalation is happening alongside Russia pushing hard on the ground in eastern Ukraine, with over 600 assaults recorded in just 4 days. This was Russia sending a message. We are not done. We are just getting started. And the targets were not random either. Russia hit western Ukraine this time, hard. The West has been comparatively safer throughout this war. It is further from the front lines. It is where a lot of displaced Ukrainians moved to escape the fighting in the east. Cities like Lviv and Ivano-Frankivsk had seen far less of the destruction that places like Kharkiv and Zaporizhia have endured. That changed on Tuesday. In Lviv, a drone hit a residential building right next to the 16th century Bernardine Monastery, part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. In Ivano-Frankivsk, a maternity hospital was damaged. 2 people were killed there, and a 6-year-old child was among the injured. In Vinnytsia, 1 person was killed and 13 injured. Ukraine's prime minister put it plainly. Russia is attacking a crowded city center in broad daylight. This was not just about destroying infrastructure. Hitting the West, hitting UNESCO sites, hitting maternity hospitals in daylight is a psychological operation. It is Russia telling Ukrainians there is no safe corner left. It is Russia telling the rest of Europe that nowhere in Ukraine is off limits. Okay, now here is where Ukraine's story takes a turn that genuinely defies expectations. Out of 948 drones, Ukraine intercepted 906. Read that again. 906 out of 948. That is a 95.5% interception rate during the largest drone assault in the history of this conflict. They scrambled everything they had: fighter aircraft, interceptor drones, electronic warfare jammers, and ground-based air defense systems, all working simultaneously. How did they get this good? It did not happen overnight. Back in July 2025, Zelensky confirmed Ukraine had intelligence about Russia's 1,000 drone-a-day ambition and immediately signed orders to commission at least as many interceptor drones domestically. By January 2026, Ukraine had actually hit that target, and by this month, Zelensky stated Ukraine was capable of producing at least 2,000 interceptor drones every day. 2,000 per day. Ukraine got so good at this that it is now offering half of its daily interceptor drone production to Gulf states to help them counter Iranian-designed drones, which are the same drones Russia uses. Think about that for a second. A country that has been under bombardment for 4 years is now exporting its air defense expertise globally.